Alright guys, looks like we got him right here. Live rush animal. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful animals. Let's get him out of here. Look at that beauty. So as babies, they're typically a dark green / brownish color. As they get older, depending on their species, they could be black, they could be bluish purple, they could be green, they could be brown. So it's kind of a little mystery what these guys are going to turn out to be, and I'm excited. Let's zoom in on their claws there. You can see especially their back claws are webbed. They're like finned because these guys, they're known for walking on water and getting away from predators on water. So pretty cool. We are going to run the shower here for them for a little bit, let them get some fresh water, and then we're gonna try to feed them before putting them in their cage. Here we have Sailfin Paradise Resort. Let's do a little tour. So when you enter the resort, to your right, you have a nice climbing branch to be able to get to the mid-tier, mid-level hangout. From there, you can proceed up the elevator to the highest floor, the party wing. If you want to come back down for some spa action, just hit up the local ground level where you have 2 areas to play in. If you need some coolness and some privacy, there's a hotel suite right here, courtesy a la Paradise Sailfin Hotel. Okay, I'm joking around a little bit, but I'm pretty excited about this cage. So I got one of them here. We don't know if they are male or females yet. Males will develop big fins across the back of their neck, sometimes the whole middle of their back, high fins on their tail area, and they'll be really bright in color. Females will develop fins, but not as large. Again, there's a good shot of their webbed feet they use for running across the water. They are one of 2 known species of lizards that run across the water that I know of. One is the basilisk, and the other is these guys. And they're actually in the same family of agamids. And so if you have a bearded dragon, these guys are actually in the same family as the bearded dragon. Agamids, water dragons, Australian water dragons, Chinese water dragons. Look at that. The bathroom light is like a really bad light. I'll take them outside and get some better shots of natural sunlight. But you can kind of see their nice like jungle, like camouflage color right there. Now these guys, the more you handle them as babies like this, they warm up to you really quick compared to most reptile species. It's a good idea not necessarily to leave these guys alone, maybe for a little while, but make sure you handle them. Get them used to being handled, picked up by you. That way they're not freaking out. Probably the biggest thing with sailfin dragons is hydration. Make sure they're hydrated, and then make sure that the bottom of your glass tank has a barrier around it to where they can't see through it for like 4 to 6 inches. That way, when they're running along the bottom of the tank, they don't try to get out, because these guys are very rigorous. You see how he's looking at us very curiously? These guys are very motivated when they want to get out of an enclosure, and they will run and run and run along that glass and rub their nose raw, creating open wounds and infection, possible infection. So that's arguably the #1 thing to keep in mind with these guys. I would say the #2 thing is hydration. Make sure they have water. Most people would say a large water tub, but as long as they have some kind of fresh drinking water every day, I would say that you are on the road to success. And of course, if you can provide a large bowl for them to sit in, they will enjoy that, because this is a species that is semi-aquatic. They live in and, well, they live around the water. So, and there's the other one down there. This one was actually just starting to fall asleep on my hand. So we're going to try to leave on a positive experience. What you do to try to leave on a positive experience, get them to leave you. don't necessarily like brush them away, but get them to kind of leave you. So I'm just gonna turn him, there you go. So he kind of comes off that way. And this one, let's see, I don't want to stick a camera in this one's face. Now these ones, they're pretty good. They haven't tried to bite or anything yet, which is really well. You get SAVANNAH monitors and you'll get a lot of biting, huffing, puffing. And so my experience so far with these guys is pretty nice. Sometimes you want to just let them like crawl onto your hand instead of grabbing them and holding them in place. So again, these guys warm up pretty quick to humans. So you get in there and just sort of handle them, and that helps them to trust you more as well. They're quick learners, I guess is what I'm saying. Now, these guys are imported, but they are in excellent condition. They have all their fingers, toes, claws. Their tail is fully intact and like not bit off or anything like that. That's really, really good. I mean, all reptiles are imported at some point, right? My hope is, if I have a male and female here, that I'll be able to breed and have captive born sailfins for the American reptile hobby. Now you can kind of see some of the light reflecting off of their scales there. You see that line of scales? That's like lighter green. It's like they protrude out, kind of like dragon scales. They're really cool. But yeah, you can see some of the colors in this guy now. See those scales? They kind of ridge along the back. And you see that back neck frill? That could be a sign that we have a growing boy here, but you'll never know until they're older. And again, they're very curious. They will look at you with like a curious look. They are awesome. I'm really excited to work with these guys. Look at that, it's like Godzilla. And that's one of the things that I really liked when I first saw these guys. I was like, that is the closest looking lizard to Godzilla that I have ever seen, ever. Look these guys up as adults, sailfin dragons or sailfin lizards. You'll see that as adults, these guys are beasts. Let's see if I can let him down easy without him freaking out. Wow. Guys, for wild caught specimens, that amount of calmness that they are showing right now is amazing, because I have captive born species that are not this calm. So do I think that they make a great pet? Based off of all my research, yes, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to work with them and I wanted to work with them. Make sure you know your information about them beforehand so you can prevent health issues. You can give them the happiest, best life possible. Do some research. Hit me up if you have some questions. I do research all the time. I'll let you know what I know. I'll let you know my experience. I'll share videos with you of videos that I make of these guys. Just do your research, because that's going to pan out and give the animals the best experience as well as yourself. No animal is necessarily hard to keep. You just have to know how to keep them. And I shouldn't say no animal, obviously. But, you know, the point that I want to stress is, as long as you know how to keep them healthy, happy, feeling secure, you're going to have a much better experience with them, and they're going to have a much better experience with you. Oh man, these guys look amazing in their new cage. They just blend right in with all the greenery. There's one of them. Here's the other one. It's beautiful. All the water around them, the leaves. Let's see if I could get a nice shot on this side without him or her fleeing. That looks nice. Just like a wild video. There she is. You can see that scalation on their back. Really nice. As we're inside the reptarium for the sailfin dragons. Here's one of them just chilling in the sun, looking pretty. They kind of let me handle them already, so that's okay. That's nice. Sometimes when you move an animal to an outdoor enclosure, you have to sort of start all over again with them. But the fact that they're not just completely running away right now is a good sign. And they see me. See? He's looking right at me. The beautiful blue in the, what would that be called? The iris of their eye there. That could be a sign maybe that this one will have some nice color when he or she is older. I'm looking for a nice shot in the sun, but there are those scales that just kind of shine like a dragon. Those scales that kind of shine a little bit more. They kind of protrude off of the skin, giving it a very dragon-esque look. So cool. Now these guys are just babies, so they're gonna get a lot bigger, maybe about 3 feet. And for reference right now, you know, there's my hand. So probably about, their body is almost the length of my hand. I told myself I would sit in here and watch them for a little bit, but oh, my knees are hurting. Ideally, that was the idea behind the stump, was that that's where I would sit and hang out and watch them. See, I came up with a way to close the door behind me so I don't have to worry about them getting out while I'm in here. I wanted to have like one tub in the shade, one tub in the sun, you know, just on opposite sides of the enclosure. See if I can kind of handle them a little, or show them where the water is. See if they can get out of the water. See, this is actually really good that he or she is letting me hold them into the water. And that was my concern, is if they can get out, and it looks like they can, so that is good. There's lots of cover and shade that kind of makes them feel confident. They should be okay. This one's a little smaller than this one. Enjoying some sun. I mean, it's the middle of the day here, and look how much shade they get. That's really good. And then they obviously have pockets of sun that they can get to all over this cage. So see, from ground level, they could come up to about 4 to 5 feet over here, all the way up to 6 feet at the top. So I'm probably just going to let them realize that, hey, I come in and out of the cage just like I did right now. And I'm going to leave on a good note and then come back later and kind of play with them a little bit more. Give them some time to bask in the sun right now, because they were just in a cold bathtub, like a cool bathtub, you know, and they ate some roaches and stuff in there. So I'll throw the roaches and stuff in here and see if they like it. But other than that, I'll let them bask here for a little bit. One of them made it all the way to the top already. Let's see if you can see him. I can see him because I know where he is, but can you spot the lizard? Very observant critters.